Thank you everyone for joining us today. I would like to introduce Rahul Patel, your AAHOA Florida Regional Director. Rahul, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Nisaya. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Florida Regional or virtual experience. This has been a great event so far. Thank you to all our exhibitors for participating in our trade show and to all of you for taking time out to be with us today.
Thank you, Rahul.
I am Rahul Patel, Florida Regional Director. I'm honored to serve you as your regional director. It is a privilege to work on your behalf and to be an advocate for initiatives and issues AAHOA is constantly working on for hoteliers. I would like to thank our sponsors, Chase and RLH. Their support means so much for our association, and we are grateful for their partnership. Here is a message from Chase that Mayur, our staff liaison, is going to read out.
Thank you, Rahul. At Chase, we are committed to the well-being and safety of our customers, our employees, and our community. We are here for you when you need us, whether it's providing best practices, professional consultation, or business tools and resources.
We have a message from RLH Corporation as well. Mayur, can you please help with that?
RLH Corporation is an innovative hospitality company focused on the franchising of 8 brands from upscale boutique to economy hotels. They emphasize maximizing return on invested capital for their nearly 1,000 hotel owners across North America through relevant brands, industry-leading technology, and forward-thinking brand services. RLH Corporation thanks AAHOA for being a major industry partner and providing our hotel owners and operators with an association where hotelier voices matter and imperative resources are readily available.
All right, we have breaking news now. World Health Organization has just declared coronavirus a pandemic at this point.
So all the members' involvement is key to AAHOA's success. Our officers, our board, and our ambassadors are all volunteers. I would like to recognize Florida regional ambassadors. They work tirelessly to support AAHOA in our region. First and foremost, our past chairman, we are very proud of Hemant Bhai from Miami to be Hemant Patel from Miami to be on the ambassador team from Miami. Kunal Gaikwad from Ocala, Kunj Patel from Pinellas Park near Tampa, Mahesh Shah from Panama City Beach, Panhandle of Florida, Meghna Patel from Sarasota, Florida, Rajal Patel from Orlando, Florida, Rakesh Rigbula from Tallahassee, Florida, Rakesh Patel from Fort Myers, Florida, Samir Patel from Space Coast, Florida, Sandeep Satya from Jacksonville, Florida, and Sarah Gulati from Orlando, Florida again. Sorry, I missed out. Sheetal Patel from Tampa, Florida. Thank you to all our ambassadors for all that you do for our region and help me what I do or help me being successful. Now let's take a moment to review our regional performance. As you can see on the screen, Florida region has 1,088 paid members. I think we are one of the biggest regions when it comes to membership. Our lifetime membership is 578 members. I urge you all to encourage your network to join or renew their AAHOA membership. Hoteliers are struggling right now, and we need to rely on each other more than ever. If you have a friend or family member who is not yet an AAHOA member, let's help them out. Encourage them become a member today and take advantage of all the resources that AAHOA has to offer. As a reminder, AAHOA membership is free for those who owns RLH Corporation or G6 franchise hotels. Also, if a fellow hotelier is a Wyndham franchisee who has never been an AAHOA member, he or she is eligible for a free membership. This year, our region has raised $25,164 in AAHOA PAC funds. We, again, proudly, we lead in PAC fund contribution as well as a region. And I thank my entire membership and my ambassador team with the help of that. And our secretary, Bharat Patel, who has worked very hard on that as well. Here are the names of those who have donated to AAHOA PAC. We are grateful for your support. Out of the 25,164, somebody just contributed $1,001 today. And you know, it's very encouraging for us when you receive a donation of that kind today. And I would urge everybody to, you know, support us. Next slide, please. AAHOA supports candidates who support small business, more specifically hoteliers. Here are the candidates that AAHOA PAC is supporting in our region. All the legislators you see there are pro-business and kind of more narrowly, they are like hotelier friendly. We work with the best and, okay, so that's a second slide of, okay. We work best when we work together. I'm proud of what we have accomplished, especially in a year like this, in the face of this pandemic. I'm grateful for your support and your participation, especially all of you who have updated their MyAAHOA profile, updated property data using myahoa.com. When you update your property information, it helps us help you, such as when you're talking to brands, vendors, or elected officials. It helps us paint a more complete picture of our influence as job creators and leaders in business and in our community. We also need your emails and cell phone numbers. And be sure to opt in to receive the latest news, updates, special deals, and regional information emails. Please take a few more minutes today to update your property information through myahoa.com and help us be better advocates for you and to best communicate with you. We have several important events in future. They can be found at AAHOA.com. Log into AAHOA.com on a regular basis to find new events to attend, even virtually. We add new events almost every day. I'm looking forward to a great year. Now, please join me in welcoming Raquel Patel, Female Director, Eastern Division, for an update on our women hoteliers. Thank you, Raquel.
Hello, women hoteliers. At our San Diego convention, we took a moment to celebrate ways we can learn from one another, inspire one another, and set ourselves up for a year of progress and success in our businesses. Women, especially the women of AAHOA, have a history of building up one another. But women don't just help women. We speak up in support of hotel owners across America. Women hoteliers met with members of Congress, legislative staff, state representatives during the Legislative Action Summit and Capitol Hill Days in states across the country in order to share in real terms how policies affect small business owners. We fundraise for the AAHOA PAC because we understand the importance of making sure Congress is made up of pro-business leaders who understand our industry. And in the midst of all of this, we continue to give back. We pay it forward. We help the next generation of hotel owners. We prepared holiday care packages for children in foster care, and we gathered much needed supplies for women in shelters. I think you'll all agree with me that this strange season has inspired us all to stop and think about what's really important and the kinds of leaders we want to be. I also want to tell you about the Women Hoteliers Focus Group. This group is dedicated to helping advance women professionals in the hospitality industry. If you want to become more involved, to build your network, connect with the industry leaders, and grow, I encourage you to join us. Until business is back to normal, I've been thinking a lot about how I can invest in myself and in my team to become the strongest we can be. And I'm so thankful for the endless resources AAHOA has for me, whether I'm at the office or enjoying a moment of peace and quiet. If you've been thinking about this too, this idea of taking some time to invest in you, I hope you'll join me. I've thought about a few ways, all the things that I can do on my own schedule at my own pace. For example, taking one 20-minute AAHOA webinar every day between now and New Year's Eve. I want to be more informed about sales, and AAHOA has more than 20 classes on that topic, all free and in a format that fits my schedule. Or maybe even having my team take the new AAHOA P&G Professionals Training in Hotel Sanitization and Cleanliness, the latest training certificate offered from the AAHOA Hotel Owners Academy for hotel owners and their staff. As travel resumes, we want our customers to feel confident and comfortable when they choose to stay at our property. This small step will make a big difference. I hope you'll join me this season in choosing your way to invest in yourself because you deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Raquel. Now we'll hear from Raquel Patel, Young Professional Director, Eastern Division, for an update on the next generation of hoteliers.
Professional hoteliers, I am Raquel Patel, your AAHOA Young Professional Director, Eastern Division. The people on Capitol Hill and in state legislatures across the country might understand on a theoretical basis what we're going through. Sure, people aren't traveling as much these days and the hospitality industry must be feeling it. But the message really hits home when we put numbers in front of them. This is where you come in. You may have heard this before, AAHOA asking you to update your property data. It would have been helpful then, but it's absolutely critical now. We need to paint a clear picture of what America's hotel owners are going through. That means the number of hotels, the number of jobs, and the number of tax dollars governments won't see because of decline in travel. This year, we elected a new Congress, and the fact of the matter is that we will likely need to educate a new class of leaders about the hospitality industry. We'll need to tell them the success of our industry is not only important to our own businesses, but it has a ripple effect through the local economies and our country. Plain and simple, the most effective way to hit that point home is with numbers. They're not going to just take our word for it. Dozens of other industries will also be clamoring for their attention. But we can prove it if we have the numbers. To those of you who may have already provided your property data, thank you. To those of you who have provided some, but not all of your properties, or to those of you who have been meaning to for a while now, it's not too late. This is the perfect time to take a small step that will make a big difference. AAHOA has been investing in technology to make the benefits of membership accessible wherever you are. My AAHOA, the exclusive member portal, is your one-stop shop. It is where you can update your property information. It is also where you, as a young professional can indicate that you want to receive news and information relevant to young professionals. By completing your profile and updating your preferences, you can customize your entire AAHOA experience so that it reflects you and the business you.
I think we had some technical glitch, but thank you, Bhavik, for an update. Thank you for your encouraging words. Now we have a message from Raquel Patel, our AAHOA Director at Large from Tampa, Florida. Mayur Patel, our staff liaison, is going to convey that message to us.
Thank you, Rahul. On behalf of JSJ Patel, AAHOA Director at Large, who is not able to join us today, I would like to share this message. Thank you for joining us today at this AAHOA Regional Conference and Trade Show. This is a great example of what AAHOA is all about: connection. AAHOA offers networking opportunities that are second to none, connecting hotel owners with other hotel owners and industry leaders to help us strengthen our networks. AAHOA connects owners with deals and discounts offered by hundreds of vendors across the country because we know the value of a dollar. And AAHOA connects owners with industry data and information we need to make decisions for our businesses in these uncertain times. If you want to be more connected, there's never been a better time to be an AAHOA member. If you've been thinking about becoming an AAHOA member for the first time and you own a Wyndham property, your membership is free. If you own a G6 or RLH property, your membership or your renewal is free. And whether you own independent or branded properties, AAHOA is here to help you connect. Join or renew your membership today by visiting AAHOA.com or calling 404-816-5759.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I'm pleased to introduce our next guest, who will discuss the 2020 State of the Lodging Industry and top issues in our region. Please join me in welcoming our panelist, Rakesh Bhula, Director of Operations, Quality and Suites, Tallahassee; Samir Patel, President and CEO of 360 Hospitality Group; Samantha Paget, General Counsel of Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association; and our own Bharat Patel, partner in Sunny Enterprises, Sarasota, and our AAHOA Secretary. I'm Rahul Patel. I'm going to moderate the panel today.
Thank you, Rahul bhai.
Okay, so let me start by saying, last year we had our regional in Orlando. It was a very successful regional. very good attendance. Previous year, we were in Tampa. The hotel industry was vibrant. We could not imagine second week or third week of February that world will change for us. The business environment will change for us this bad, and we would be in this crisis, and we have to kind of completely change a lot of things that we do. It could be business, personal lives, gatherings and events. So that leads to my first question. And it's that, how will the industry change from COVID-19? And related to that, what elements of the hotel experience do you really think can change to the benefit of the hotel owner with the title impact to the guest? I would like, Rakesh and Samir, who are in hotel operations, to kind of give us an answer or give us their insight to this.
Sure. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. COVID-19 is definitely, as we all know, has affected every industry. And when it comes to our industry, the hospitality industry, we feel in Florida, it's severely affected because our number one industry is tourism, and we like to house those tourists. So is this going to be something that's going to go on forever or 6 months, a year? We don't know. What we do know is there are opportunities. I wouldn't, maybe not so much benefits, but there are some certain opportunities that we need to take advantage of as hotel operators. Most of us in the AAHOA and southeastern Florida, we have about 1 to 5 hotels, mid-scale, that's our base amount. So there are certain things that we have taken into account for when COVID-19 happened, along with the brand, to see how we can scale down our economies and scale it quicker. That would mean no more free breakfast, cutting down on the housekeeping, cutting down on areas that we might have extra, and running skeleton staff. Some of us faced this about 10, 11 years ago. And this time around, I feel like it is a lot more severe. We know it's a lot more severe because it's affecting all throughout the state. We have a hotel all the way from Tallahassee to Venice, Florida, down south to Cocoa Beach. All of the areas are affected differently. I would urge everybody out there and all the hoteliers to reach out to all the resources you can. Instead of complaining, reach out to the resources, reach out to your brands. The brands are putting into certain things, and we have to band together when we have certain issues with the brands to make sure that they keep those levels of economy the same based on our occupancy. For us, I can speak, we've had some good sports teams coming out through our area, in the Space Coast. So we put into place, if we hit a certain occupancy amount, we turn on breakfast because that's how we drive in sports business. So I think it's an area by area solution, and we have to make sure that we're making the right move.
Thank you, Samir bhai. Rakesh Bula from Tallahassee. I agree with you, Samir bhai, that each area is affected differently. For example, in Tallahassee, we still have not reached the break-even point. Only a couple of hotels, they're making money because they reduced their rates from $80 to $30. So they're driving all the business and basically stealing from our own brothers. So that's been the story for Tallahassee. But I do agree with you. The travel will rebound back as soon as the vaccine is announced and readily available. And my anticipation is probably by February. And I also agree with you that we are resilient. We are very much to adapt to the changes immediately. So those of our brothers that are not breaking even or losing money, let's help them, as long as they reach out to us. But I believe it is going to rebound back, and we're going to remember this time as another 2008, 9, and 10, a few years later.
This is Rahul Patel again. How I look at some of the changes that COVID brought to us that could be advantage to us in the long term is some hoteliers were able to get their interest rate on mortgages reduced. First time ever, cable companies kind of thought of, or there's an implementation where they go have a break. They are even thinking of providing cable bill based on occupancy. Franchise company got a chance to look and see, okay, what all has been just given away for free and what can we cut back on without impacting the hotel guest experience. You know, some areas have been very successful. Also, you know, reduced housekeeping depending on the guest needs. So yeah, few things, and hopefully this thing kind of stay for longer to help us out. My next question would be to Samantha and Bharat. What is the message you guys are giving to lawmakers and state leaders about the need to allow business to operate as long as they do so safely? Are they asking for industry policies and procedures, or how are the lawmakers reacting to the dire forecast in our industry? Can you please explain?
Sure. So let's recap real quick also. We had a very busy legislative session this past year, and I'll let Samantha touch on it for a second. But the main thing we all are doing and communicating to our leaders. In fact, me and Samantha were on a Zoom call with the governor and several FRLA board members a couple of days ago. And like many of us, their memory is short too. What we're relaying to them really is it is a catastrophe. What has happened here through no fault of our own, business is a disaster for the most part. While internally we did have on the call talk about some areas might be some areas might be doing a little bit better than others, but for the most part, there are some hotels that are facing single digit occupancy still today. In terms of returning on travel, we tell them like some leisure travel may come back, business travel is going to lag a lot more. So, all our guests are, all our industry's in trouble. When I say our industry, it's a livelihood. It's one of the largest employers in Florida, if not the largest. And as Samir said so eloquently, it is the #1 industry in Florida. It wasn't always so, but the last 3 years, tourism has been the #1 industry in Florida. And I think we've dropped from 118 million guests in an annualized basis down to 80 something. So I'll let Samantha come in and talk a little bit about this, but we've relayed how dire the needs are.
I think we are lucky in the state of Florida that we have a governor who sees the necessity for businesses to continue to operate. And as recently as the conversation we had with him earlier this week, he is so committed to making sure that businesses stay open. And he goes so far as to say is, how can you define an essential business? If it's your business, it's essential and it deserves to operate. And so I think while some outside of Florida may look at some of the moves that our governor has taken and may raise some questions, I think from the business side of things and from the tourism and hospitality industries, we can feel comforted that he has no intention of backing down from that position. He is fully committed to continuing to have every business stay open and to operate. And they are, the governor's office is a partner in that. And we'll be looking in the upcoming legislative session at things that will assist this industry as they continue to operate. One being asking for greater funding for Visit Florida. Never has tourism marketing been so important to our industry. And we need to be innovative. And that organization needs to have the resources it needs in order to be able to attract people to Florida, and not just to necessarily the big attractions, but to every area of the state, to make sure that the entire state enjoys recovery and a return to prosperity. Also protecting our businesses, with COVID liability protection. The Senate President, the House Speaker, and the Governor have all voiced their support for adopting legislation to protect businesses. We are going to play a vital role. We have already started with working with a task force that met earlier in the year to craft this legislation to make sure that, while you're not keeping people from accessing courts, that those bogus lawsuits are not moving forward, and people aren't profiting off of targeting a business for something that was unintentional and a harm that really wasn't that severe. So, and as I said, there is significant support for that legislation. The issue at this point is the timing of it. Can we move it as quickly as possible to make sure that our businesses are protected?
And that's in contrast to some of the other governors in other states where we're not going to have a foreclosure. We just talked about no curfews, no change. We're in phase 3. We're there for the long run. He did not ask the theme parks to close down. The theme parks said on their own that they would. So you cannot have a more pro-business, more pro-hotel governor, I think, in the nation. I can't recall anyone else. Would that be fair to say, Samantha?
I would agree completely.
Thank you, Rahul.
Rahul, I just have one more comment for Samantha's saying. Me and you, we live in the same city in Tallahassee. I would like for you to collaborate with me as well as our lobbyists in order to make sure that my assistance is there in whatever your cause is. Yeah, we're pushing for no breakfast for economy and limited service hotel just so that our restaurant can thrive. And you represent restaurant industry also.
Yes, sir. And we're advocating for all industry businesses, both on the hotel and restaurant side, to continue to be open and to operate. And really what your colleague Lena was talking about sanitation and those additional training pieces, I think that we have been emphasizing that as well through our organization, and really the difference that'll make in rebuilding consumer confidence. And so absolutely, we want to work with you, have you be part of those conversations, and bring in that direct experience of the hotel owner and operator so they know truly from the business owner side what the impact has been and why some of these policies are so necessary.
Understood.
Thank you, Samantha.
Just say tap on one thing with that, just a real quick. Our lobbyist teams, we have some of the best lobbyist teams with the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association and AAHOA up there working together. The importance of them doing their job can only do so much, but we have to make sure that we contribute to our PAC and our PACs, and that way they can do their job better in getting the right people elected into the right positions. Then they can advocate for us all around.
Thank you, Samir. That brings me to our next important question. How important are our relationships with today with our lenders, employees, brands, and lawmakers? Are any of the relationship helping us in getting needed the relief needed that we need today? Could you guys give out your experiences, please?
I think relationships right now are everything. We're going to go into a legislative session where we're not sure if we're going to even be allowed in the building. They may restrict it to staff and legislators only. And it is those relationships that is going to allow AAHOA and the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association to continue to have absolutely all the access that we need in order to be able to advance our agenda as an association and also as an industry. So right now, from the legislative side and the government affairs side, I can say relationships are everything, and we are well positioned to use those relationships wisely, to advance those friendships, and to communicate our needs as an industry.
I want to touch on a couple of things, and I'll let Samir and Rakesh follow up. But relationships are everything. That's why we're in this business. It's important this week and the next couple of days, get engaged with your brand, get engaged with your lender, get engaged with an elected official, whether it's locally, your sheriff or your mayor, or it's countywide or statewide. Anyone would love to hear from you and say, listen, I'm a local hotel owner. I employ 24 people, 24 families rely on my paycheck that I roll out every 2 weeks. I pay $40,000 in property taxes. Please, I want you to know how things are going here. If you don't know how to do that, that's okay. Rahul is there. We have ambassadors here. All of you, I'm sure, have my cell phone number by now. But it's really important to reach out. If it's one a week, and I know, it takes a lot. You're in the middle of a lot of things. You're taking care of your business or businesses. You're taking care of your family. You're trying to just stay above water. I was just on a call with a former ambassador and a current AAHOA lifetime member. You know, he can't find help for anything. He was literally cleaning up vomit off the floor yesterday because of what I guess to do. He didn't have help. You know, he was working the front desk. I can tell you one of our former chairmen, you know, when I was on the phone with him the other day, he was, you know, talking to a guest over the window and renting a room. So look, we're all in this together. All of us can share things. It doesn't always have to be WhatsApp. I think phone calls are important. I think trying to reach people in a socially distanced way, invite people to come to your hotel if it's possible, but doing those other things. But again, if anything you catch from this panel, please start the relationship, continue the relationship, make the relationship deeper when it comes to brands. You know, when it comes to a lender, even in independent hotels, when it comes to your fellow independent hotels nearby and an elected official. Rakesh Bhai, what's your thoughts on team members?
I agree with you. You know, as to foreclosures, they are going to be coming up. Those who are over leveraged will, you know, be living in difficulty. I'll give you one example. Home to Suite that opened last year in South Miami. The owner of that hotel, 47 hotels, called me and you know, he said, I want you to take my Best Western and Home to Suites off my table. I'm willing to give it to at a, you know, mortgage balance. So, you know, a lot of those things are coming up. I've been personally involved into CMBS loan and paid $700,000 in penalty to GMSC commercial mortgage back in 2008. So there are a lot of help is available. So, you know, let's try to make sure that our members are taken care of by doing the right thing. Like I said to you before, by February, March next year, things will start to rebound and we should be fine, at least getting up to the break-even point. But yeah, the relationship with the lender is very important. Even with CMBS, you know, if you default on a couple of payments, then your loan is going to be transferred to a special servicer. And, you know, keep in communication. I mean, if you have a conventional loan with a local lender, you know, take them out to lunch or dinner or, you know, and the rates are being lowered. So yes, definitely there's an opportunity to modify your loan, even through your local lender or through SBA.
Samir, can you explain your experiences?
I agree with you, Rakesh Bhai. You know, it's important that we don't forget, you know, in these times that, you know, we have a very cyclical industry that we're involved in, you know, and not to forget 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when the financial crisis happened, you know, there was a lot of people that after that went into the CMBS market. And when they're going into the CMBS market, I know we did several of our loans with CMBS thinking, well, we were scared that the banks were going to take away our properties then. So let's go CMBS, right? That means we're going to have a non-recourse property. Well, that's great. But many times when we get involved in these, you know, great deals, great interest rates, fixed terms, we forget to look through them into detail. And having a good relationship with your financial broker or whatnot, your attorneys, making sure that we're looking at all these stuff, we're adding it, we're looking at the plus and minuses. The second round of CMBSs that everybody got involved with the last few years, they're almost like CMBS part 2. They lock down almost everything and they've got you into, you know, a stranglehold where you're very tight on what you can do. You know, the things are, if you're just a day or two late, they can put you in default. If you collected PPP loans and didn't acknowledge it and get it signed off, you can get into default. You know, these guys are looking to come, they are the vultures of the industry. And we signed with them. So, you know, we have a contract, but what we shouldn't agree with is them taking advantage of us during a pandemic. And these are the types of things that, you know, you need to make your local lawmakers aware of. You know, several times and months ago, I had several talks like, oh no, everything's going to be, you're going to get deferments, you're going to get this, but it took them about 3 to 4 months to understand that this isn't a conventional loan. They don't know, they're not hotel business owners, they're politicians. So it's our duty to educate them, you know, as versus, you know, just barking up all of our associations. It's our duty to educate the lawmakers as members of our association. I want to just briefly tap on relationships of our employees too during this times, because I hear it and I see it ourselves too. It's very tough to find, competent workers for our industry. We know that the minimum wage and everything is going to be going up, which is going to be difficult for us. I know for a few of our properties, we did scale down, but those that scale down with us, the communication that we had with them, the loyalty, the upward communication is just as important as the downward communication with the culture of your property. Like most of our properties are the select service properties around the 80 to 100 range. And we have to have them buy in with us. So the communication is not just with everybody in the community, but you got to consider your hotel, your family, and with those employees as well. Because those are the ones that are going to stick with you long-term and help you survive through these times.
Thank you, Samir. At the level of AAHOA, I mean, during the pandemic, AAHOA was quickly able to act, picked up the phone calls and called the franchise companies and kind of, advocated on our behalf in bringing down help. It was in form of different standards, removing guest service charges or extending PIPs and plenty of things in the list. I mean, different brands had different help. Some brands were able to do more than the others. But anyway, my next question goes specifically to looking at banking and refinancing. Have you structured your loans? Are your lenders working with you? What are your biggest needs right now on lending side? Do you expect to see any foreclosures in your market? I mean, Rakesh Bhai has said some things, but I would like to know from everybody.
I think if we look at the Southeast, East in general, there is a bigger impact of influx coming into Florida. We see that more and more people are moving every day. We see the real estate market moving too. Inventory is on the, I know the MLS in our area are at an all-time low. In Brevard County, Space Coast, it was, I think they had about 13,000 in inventory in our little county, and we're actually the longest county. But, and we have now less than 2,000, and then only half of them are good. So that's telling you that there's a big influx, which in turn means that there's probably gonna be more money coming into Florida. And those people, may or may not be looking out to buy up properties. I already hear some of the brokers calling us, okay, we have people from California looking to buy hotels in Florida, people from upstate looking to buy hotels in Florida. This is another reason why it's important to have a good relationship with your lender, because your lender is looking to maybe unload your property for any reason, get it off their books, and you're going to have some big money investors or hoteliers come down here and try to scoop up your property. And I'm assuming, in my opinion only, you're going to start seeing that within the next 6 months to a year.
I agree.
Yeah, Rahul, I'd say that, and maybe Samantha can join in on the minimum wage when it's going to come up in September. But things are going to go more towards what was happening in California, right? So there's a lot of things going on. Pressure for hotels, property insurance is going up, right? Everything, the cost of labor is going up. You're not going to be able to stop those two factors. On the other side, there are some states that are hurting a lot. Like I said, destination travel is still there. Drive time travel is still there. So whether it's the Panhandle or whether it's the beaches, people are still traveling to those areas. The places that are really being hurt are the ones where business travel was key, whether that be Miami or Broward, Fort Lauderdale. It hurts. And then the theme parks, right? I mean, on an average year, I think we got close to more than 50 million, 55 million people visiting the Central Florida region, and we're not going to have that this year. And so it's going to hurt in that area. Housing is going up. I mean, MLS is an all-time low in almost every county. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, I want to talk a little bit about vacation rentals and property taxes and what our association and our sister Allied Association, FRLA, is working on when we get a chance.
I think that brings us to what you're talking about, Bharat. How will Amendment 2, the phased minimum wage increase impact hiring practices going forward? Where does the industry go from here on?
Samantha, you want to touch on that real quick, and then I'll dovetail after you?
So starting, and what will happen, so in September of 2021, the wage will go up to $10 an hour. That will take effect on January 1st of 2022. And you'll see that go up $1 a year until we hit $15 an hour in 2026. And it's important to note that at that point, it won't stop at $15 an hour. It will continue to be indexed upward. And we've been in conversations with different groups and different organizations and talking about, is there any way to, limit this or curb this or do anything in terms of implementation? And I really don't, in looking at the language, I don't see that that's possible. So this is a very real thing that's coming. And I think one thing to be on the lookout for, and that we talked about when we were opposing Amendment 2, is to think about the impact of your current employees and those that are already making, $10 an hour now, but they've been with you for several years. And what will the feeling be when, the person walking in the door is making the same amount as the person that's been an employee with you for a year, 2 years, 5 years, and to start looking and to determine how you're going. Sorry, I'm not sure what was causing that, to see how that's going to impact your organization moving forward. We call that wage compression, where it kind of pushes everybody upward. And just talking about and preparing about what it's going to look like for your organization. I think it's important to note that from a national perspective, depending on what we see take place in the state of Georgia with their US Senate elections, whether or not this is something that we will be addressing on a nationwide basis, and increase minimum wage across the board. So, it's tiered in at the state, at the state level, and will that perhaps change? Would a federal structure be different? So I think it's unquestionable that this is going to change our practices, and it's going to change our industry, and it has yet to be seen exactly how deep that impact will be.
Samantha, you want to talk a little bit about property taxes? I know we reach out to Department of Revenue just for our members.
So one of the things is we're looking at, we can't necessarily change what is in that ballot measure that passed, but looking at other ways of sort of cushioning the blow that's coming for employers in the state of Florida, and talking about property taxes. And a lot of this is addressed at the local level with your property appraisers in your area, but also looking at the state level and looking at tax policy from a state perspective to see, can we adopt, reduction of penalties, meaningful payment plans, and sort of do some of those things that they won't necessarily change what you owe in terms of property taxes, but may help you to spread that burden out over a longer period of time. And so that you're not hit with untimely penalties, that you're not hit with the payment all at once. These are things we're looking at from the state perspective of, can we put this in on a statewide basis? And those conversations are starting now, and they will be ongoing throughout the session.
So Samantha, how can we keep an update on your progress? Is it available on FRLA website, or? It
will be available on our FRLA website as we go throughout the session. Of course, you also have wonderful contract lobbyists that are specifically dedicated to AAHOA from Matt's husband Doughton, and they will also be updating your leadership on their progress on these issues. And we're happy throughout the session to offer updates, whether it's talking to Bharat and he shares it, or we share on a Zoom call. We're happy to do that to make sure that we're keeping all of our industry members engaged.
No problem. And what is your phone number, Samantha?
My phone number is 850 528 5006.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
I won't bother you until I need to.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Another topic
I think we're running low on time, but if you want to touch on human trafficking, E911.
Exactly. So another topic that is going to impact us equally is, as an industry, we have been united and our commitment on ending human trafficking. As I'm sure the panel is aware, human trafficking awareness training will be mandatory in Florida starting 2021. In addition to best inhospitable to human trafficking training sponsored by AAHOA, how are you getting the message out there with your fellow hoteliers and industry leaders about ending this terrible practice?
So, I mean, in Tallahassee, I believe everybody heard that 173 people were arrested based on that fact only. So that basically woke 61 Asian hotel owners among the other hotel owners also. So I believe everybody in my region is taking very proactive steps in order to make sure that they are properly trained from housekeeper to laundry attendant to front desk.
Rahul, I think it's important to cover 3 elements of the law, right? So January 1st, 2021, and that training is available for free for lifetime members and for annual members. So if you haven't renewed your annual membership, please do renew. You should be certified. You as an owner operator should be certified. And I want to be very careful. I say this, human trafficking awareness training, okay? So it's training for awareness about human trafficking. There's also a poster which will be made available in the near future on myahoa.com that you got to put up. So it's 2 8.5 by 11 pages. You can put up. The third element is you got to make sure that you do also train your frontline staff. So that's your housekeepers and that's your front desk. Not necessarily in the law like the groundskeeper or someone else, but basically that means for the mid-scale hotels and economy hotels we all own, it's pretty much everyone. So it's a short video. You're gonna have to do those 3 elements. If there's anything I missed, Samantha, let us know, and then I guess we'll close out with Samir on human trafficking.
I would just commend your organization for being so united in addressing this issue. We get attacked, from the hotel industry as being the place where this happens. And I think both AAHOA, AHLA, and FRLA demonstrated in the legislative session, last year and the year before, that we as an industry are committed to human trafficking prevention. And I just commend your organization for their commitment and the way that you've organized and you've shared with all of your membership. And I think it demonstrates as an industry our commitment to wiping out this horrible crime. So thank you for all your hard work in that.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the year, pre-COVID, the Attorney General, we had the leaders of FRLA and AAHOA down in Miami having a press conference. I mean, it was really a huge thing last year. And this was a law that was helped negotiated. So this is the industry stepping forward, saying we're part of the solution, not part of the problem. And that's a much better situation or place to be in than we would have been if there was another law passed against us. And then the remedy would be a lawsuit. So just keep in mind that both associations are working on your behalf, working on behalf of the tourism industry in helping make sure that there's a clear, safe place for you to stay.
I would like to add a couple of things to this. The program that is available through AAHOA, it's approved by state of Florida. Once as a member, a paid member, I'm able to log in, I can complete my training and I can help my staff complete the same training. There is no extra cost to that. Other thing is the video is interactive. So, and it's available in English and Spanish. So might as well get all our staff covered and kind of get that certification done. Other thing is it's only valid for a year. So we have to do it on an annual basis. So definitely strategize how would you get that done every year. It's available, but we have to get it done. That's the caveat. The next question is, what's our biggest worry for the remainder of 2020, which is like a month left now, and follow up with what gives us some hope in 2021, knowing that there's a lot of unknowns about what we are dealing with.
I'll cover it first gladly. Look, like Ronald Reagan used to talk about, and me and Samantha and old enough to remember those commercials, it's going to be morning in America again, okay? Wait till the spring, wait till the summer. Let's be honest here, not everybody's going to want to take that vaccine, but truly for travel to start again, it's going to be therapeutics, it's going to be vaccines, it's going to be a combination of things. There's a lot of pent up demand. So what we've got to do though is you got to have a plan. Winter is here, I felt winter probably last week, but as the TV show says, winter is coming. So make a plan for the next 30, 60, 90 days, 120 days. Make a plan for what you need to do. I'm a glass half full kind of person. So, my priority is making sure my kids finish school, get into college, pay the bills, have a little fun. When you can, meet social group while physically distancing. I hate to say social distancing, but physically distancing, meet with your friends and family, keep in touch, do the things you used to do, maybe in less frequency. But, and instead of texting, make a few phone calls. So that would be my suggestion. And, buy some extra masks and share the wealth.
Samir, would you like to give your insight?
Yeah, I'll add on to that. Moving forward, if you haven't already, I urge everybody to come up with a new COVID budget, come up with new COVID goals for your staff, new COVID incentives, which are reachable. It's going to be important for the operation for your property. Because without them, you can't operate on a level as much as you cut back. The franchisors will come after you one way or another if you let your properties deteriorate. So, it's always going to be a clash between hotel owners and franchisors. They're going to want their best interests. We're going to want ours, even though we're supposed to be working together. It doesn't always happen that way. I would also urge you guys to create a new sales plan, coming up with sales. Who's going to be, when we do start seeing travel come back, and I do think travel is going to come back this season in Florida, maybe not business travel, but there will be some leisure traffic coming in. There's going to be sports coming in. It's going to be a really tight knit market. Now, does that mean how do we do that? Is it like rate up and down? I don't think so. You have to go out there and really capture the market with your presence and your sales team. And that means working together as a unit, because we want them all coming here to Florida. We want them all coming. Then we want to come against the Treasure Coast and the Space Coast. And then once they get in here, I want them to come down exit 201, not exit 191. Then I want them to stay at my hotel, not the next door. So it all starts, locally, and then it expands out.
Thank you.
And with that being said, too, I know we had some things back and forth with the FRLA. I used to be the Space Coast chapter president locally, and then we started having our meetings coincide with our AAHOA ambassadorship and our local hoteliers. So we're all on the same page. We always don't see eye to eye, because I've been to both associations, but we're all in it to going towards the same light at the end of the tunnel. So I urge you guys in your different regions locally to get all your hoteliers together every now and again, because every chapter in the FRLA does have a regional manager, and those regional managers have Space Coast chapters. Find out when those meetings are and see what's going on, so everybody can work together on a state level, and then from there a national level.
Thank you for that, Samir. I appreciate that.
So one quick question, Rahul.
Yes.
On the brand standards, is AAHOA doing anything? Because I know a lot of the CEOs from the major corporation went up and saw President Trump while Jagrati Panwala was left out last year. So just wanted to find out, Reform Lodging, I believe you understand, that organization that has already gained about 1,000 members, that is not part of AAHOA, but they're putting a lot of initiative in place. So what is AAHOA's stand with brands?
When it comes to brand matters, we are constantly working with them. It's like a lot of things are based on property data. Our staff has been instrumental in kind of identifying the areas and kind of asking for relief. The thing is, we all understand, even they are in profit-making business. They're not going to kind of just let everything change because they've got stakeholders on the other side. But we understand the seriousness of it. And as AAHOA, all of us united, we'll keep working at it, and we will see successes in the coming times. Maybe Bharat, you want to give some additional answer to that?
Sure. Look, we're coming up on time, but we will have Q&A. That is a topic that's going to be covered by the officers. what I can tell you is this: is there are countless, hours, minutes, days that we've spent on brand-related issues. There's going to be another rollout on myahoa.com. You'll see that note. But look, stay engaged. If you don't feel AAHOA is doing enough for you, stay engaged. Don't, throw out the baby with the bathwater, as they say, right? So if you have an issue, specifically reach out to our ambassadors, reach out to our regional director, reach out to me, and talk about what specific issues you have and what you think of. I would love to have that conversation. Generally, to all the membership here is, look, again, engage with your brand, engage with your lender, engage with your local elected official, and engage with your whole leadership, right? Let's talk about the issues that impact you today and tomorrow. And we're working through these brand issues. There is going to be an update. There's some things that I'd really like to talk about, but we are going to discuss it on Q&A after our officer update. And I'm sure, Rahul, you're probably going to announce that sometime in the near future, we're going to have another Zoom call too, before the end of the year. And we'll probably have some events in the new year. So, if you want to know what's going on at AAHOA, there's going to be more than one opportunity.
So basically, we are working on having a Zoom event where everybody gets a good understanding of the H-TREAD training that is approved by state of Florida and that is required for human trafficking awareness and how to complete it. It's going to come out pretty soon. As soon as it's finalized, we'll pass on the details to you. And in the new year, before the session starts, we'll keep everybody engaged on what are the upcoming issues that are going to get discussed at the legislature and at the Hill, and we'll all work together on that. But right now, thank you all for sharing your valuable perspectives on our industry. I encourage everybody who is present here to kind of head over to the auditorium or the general session tab to listen in from our AAHOA officers. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Rahul and Bharat bhai, and everybody else.
Thank you, Raquel. So we would leave this session and we'll have to go to the other session.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.